a very good evening to you. I'm Sophie Cambridge with this Sunday, September 10th edition of the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, Hurricane Irma slammed into Florida today, bludgeoning the Sunshine State, snapping trees like matchsticks and turning Miami streets into rivers. Apparently there's plenty more damage to come. According to reports, palm trees lie strewn across the road in Miami Beach, Florida, and Naples and Marco Island are enduring some of the strongest winds from the system. Irma, now a Category 2 hurricane, is bringing 120-mile-per-hour winds as it hugs the southwest of the Florida coast. Even more dangerous than the powerful winds could be the storm surges that threaten to swallow Florida's coastal cities. We'll join CNN Live now for a quick take of what's currently happening in Florida.
Like rivers, extraordinary images out of Miami and all points in between. First, though, I want to go to Miguel Marquez, who is in Punta Gorda right now. Miguel, how are things there?
Hours away from
his team was in Naples, about 60 miles north. We're about 40 miles north of Fort Myers. I want to show you that phenomenon that you guys are seeing up there in Tampa. We're seeing here as well, which this is the marina for the city of Punta Gorda. All of the boats in there are not on water, they're on mud. You can see there's a big one off in the distance there, and there's a sailboat right in front of it. Those are actually sitting in mud. The water you see right now in that marina is just all the runoff, the rain into that marina. We are also seeing the strongest winds that we've seen so far today. I mean, it's painful to the skin, but it's also painful just to your jacket and through the jacket and onto your body. There's a sign over here that's just about to let loose, and the trees. You can see the palm trees here. They're just in that unnatural sort of shape as the wind is just pummeling the area. They are expecting, once that eye wall goes through, to have a 5 to 8 foot storm surge here as well. They were calling for 10 to 15 foot storm surge, but it's come down a little bit. But Charlotte County here, very, very low lying, so they are not sure how far it's going to go in, but they're saying up to 3 feet on the ground, in the town basically. It could get up to 3 feet of standing water through here when that storm surge comes. Anderson?
Anderson Cooper anchoring the coverage live on CNN there. Meanwhile, in Cuba, widespread damage is being reported to coastal communities and tourist resorts after the north coast was battered by the ferocious winds associated with Hurricane Irma.
The winds haven't completely finished. Trees have been felled and so on, and obviously bringing down power lines, and you say, in a country that already had creaking infrastructure. The tourism infrastructure has been damaged heavily, we understand, further east of the island. So we'll wait to see exactly what the full picture is, but I think a lot of resorts will have a lot of work to do to get back up and running, and of course tourism has now become the motor of the economy here in Cuba.
Still in news of Hurricane Irma, an urgent appeal from the Barbados Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade for anyone who has contact information for Barbadians in St. Martin to provide it as a matter of urgency to the ministry. This as the government seeks to repatriate Barbadians who wish to return here amidst concerns about reported difficulties being faced in St. Martin in the wake of Hurricane Irma. Some reports have indicated widespread looting and random violence since the passage of the hurricane. As the ministry seeks to bring Barbadians home, it wishes to confirm the contact information of such persons from their relatives, friends, and other contacts here on island. It is therefore asking for the contact information and any other relevant data regarding Barbadians who are on St. Martin to be sent as a matter of urgency to one of the following email addresses: mmclean@foreign.gov.bb, ps@foreign.gov.bb, chumphrey@foreign.gov.bb, or ncox@foreign.gov.bb. In other news, despite a reduction in sponsorship for this year's Crop Over Festival, 2017 is likely to go down as one of the best years for prize winners in recent history. The assessment has come from Minister of Culture Stephen Lashley at the official sign-off for this season, the Crop Over Awards ceremony.
The preliminary figures suggest that whereas there was an increase in the in-kind sponsorship, we saw a dip in the monetary contributions for the season. That being said, we have had the blessing of some sponsors returning to the fold. We have had increased level of participation from others, and 2017 will still be recorded as one of the biggest years for prizes in the competitions, with 4 vehicles on offer, following the addition of a vehicle for masquerade, and with the most expensive vehicle ever to be awarded for the pick of the crop at the value of $125,000 Barbados dollars.
And the plaque from the nation.
And during the ceremony held last evening at the Hilton Hotel, scores of awards were presented to outstanding sugar workers, band leaders, visual artists, volunteers, entertainers and songwriters. Minister Lashley also used the occasion to announce that legislation is coming to put an end to those who benefit from the festival without contributing to its growth.
I have long said that many enjoy the value and benefits redounding from the season without contributing to its growth. An anomaly that we intend to address, since we do have plans to enact special legislation to address issues such as licensing of the crop over and associated brands. In August, the Cabinet approved a number of policies designed to address some of the issues, including the assignment of designated public health officers to the NCF during the crop over season, to facilitate easier processing of health certificates, and allowing for the Spring Garden Highway to be formally placed under the control of the NCF by lease or other necessary instrument.
News from the Ministry of Education now. The Ministry is announcing the names of 3 additional schools which will not be ready for the start of the new school year tomorrow, Monday the 11th of September. The schools, which are part of this Ministry's domestic summer program, which are still under renovation, are Bay Primary, which will now reopen on Wednesday the 13th of September, St. Lawrence Primary on Tuesday the 12th of September, and the Thelma Berry Nursery School also on Tuesday the 12th of September. New students at the Wesley Hall Infant School will now begin their classes on Monday the 18th of September, and all other students of that institution will begin classes the day after on Tuesday the 19th of September. All other schools in Barbados, both primary and secondary, will start the new academic year tomorrow, Monday the 11th of September. The Ministry of Education, Science, Technology and Innovation says it regrets any inconvenience which may be caused by the delay. We'll have more news just after the break.
Community Files.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Food, Fisheries and Water Resource Management invites all primary and secondary school students to enter its Grow Well, Eat Well, Live Well school gardening and picture board competition. Application forms and guidelines may be downloaded from the Ministry's website www.agriculture.gov.bb. Completed forms must be submitted to Winnell Savory of the Ministry's Planning and Communications Unit at gellifebarbados@gmail.com or faxed at 535-5257 by September 22nd. For further details, please call the unit at 535-5138 or 535-5142.
Hello friends, this is Jeff Shepard inviting you to join us every Thursday from 6 to 7 on QFM for Nicholas Bacon Inc. Manor. Always fresh.
Well, residents of Green St. George now have access to a brand new park. The park, which was constructed a few weeks ago, was officially opened yesterday. And to mark the occasion, there was also a market and fun day. General Manager of the National Conservation Commission, Keith Neblett, says the park is one of 11 donated by the Maria Holder Memorial Trust.
today we've completed 5 of the parks, and we're hoping to have the next 5 complete within the next 5 to 6 months. One of the things that the minister have indicated in terms of the maintenance upkeep, look, when we put parks in communities, we expect the communities to play their part in maintaining it. And I know that I see that there's some development with some holes in here. The park is going to be heavily utilized, and I'm hoping that the kids and the parents treat the park just as they've treated the pavilion and the other work around here. And I think it's an excellent site.
Meanwhile, Democratic Labour Party candidate for St. George South and Minister of Labour, Senator Dr. Esther Bayosuku, says the park will be well used, and she's expressed her gratitude to those who've made it a reality.
I want to give them a great thank you, and I know all the children want to say thank you for this park being erected here. We will use it well. As you see, we have been using the facilities here. We put the pavilion here in Greens back in 2010, and even now there's a BCL match going on. This pavilion has been well used by the community.
Well, one poet says he's on a mission to shed some light on the issues affecting Barbados with respect to violence and the root causes of it. Aja, in his bid to reach the youth of Barbados, has written a poem dubbed The Crossroads. Its primary objectives are for Barbadians to face the reality of the contradictions and to find out why antisocial behavior has come to the fore in society. Aja suggests a subculture exists in Barbados and is rising into the mainstream of society. His poem lists what it sees as the dynamics that have allowed violence to take place. Among them, he says, is the antiquated British education system which Barbados has adopted.
That education system was introduced to sort of make sure that the status quo, the system itself of white domination, of protecting white interests, white economic interests, to keep these former enslaved who will be free, to keep them in a state of consciousness so that their status quo could remain intact. That is why the educational system was introduced, not only in Barbados, but the British, across the British West Indies at this time. And that we therefore have such an antiquated system existing 200 years after is at the root of the issue.
Well, Aja says he intends to utilize the media available to him to get his message across.
This poem today is the poem for the page. It is about, it ended up being 4 verses along with refrains and so on. I have created a second crossroad for performance. In my usual rhythm poetry style, arranged to music with background vocals and so on. And I have started the recording process for that. And the target for that is the youth population. And as a result, I'm using dancehall as a genre of music, but it relates to the same issues within the poem itself.
Well, close to 20 dancers and promotional staff accompanied by a music truck took over some streets in Bridgetown yesterday afternoon as Digicel Barbados held a promotional motorcade. The team moved off from Baxter's Road through Tudor Street, Broad Street, and later ended at Kensington Oval. Several shoppers lined the streets anxious to receive free memorabilia such as cups, hats and flyers. Digicel's marketing manager Sonia Hall Hunt explains the event was organized to spread the word about 2 of the company's services.
Rollover data and talk ensures that you do not lose any of your minutes and data that you don't use. Once you renew your plan on time, you will ensure that you can continue to use your data and talk. And the My Digicel app is all about self-service. It's about convenience, being able to look at your balances, get credit, send credit to persons, and we also have live chat included there where you can interact with our customer service agents to get any queries that you have resolved.
Well, sports news is up with Damien Best. Please stay with us.
Category 1 emergency shelters are used during hurricanes or other disasters. Category 2 shelters are used after disasters hit, provided they are still in reasonable condition. In Christchurch, the Category 1 emergency shelters are Blackman and Gollop Primary, Christchurch Foundation, Gordon Walters Primary, and St. Christopher Primary.
For a full list of shelters, visit www.gisbarbados.gov.bb or